Hi, everyone. David Aragona and Mike Beer here taking a look at some Kentucky Derby contenders. And speaking of the Derby, it really is just right around the corner. So you want to make your handicapping plan for the Kentucky Derby by taking advantage of one of these Kentucky Derby packages. You can save up to 39% by bundling your PPs with the betting strategies, player's guide, clock reports from Mike Welsh and his team. Find out more information about the Kentucky Derby packages at shop.drf.com. Mike, let's talk about Kentucky Derby favorite journalism. And he really is the story of this Kentucky Derby because I think the way you're going to view everybody else in the field depends on your take on this likely favorite. And we'll check out his most recent start when he won the Santa Anita Derby, solidifying his status as the clear-cut horse to beat in this 2025 Run for the Roses. And I mean, it's just more of the same from this horse, Mike. He's got enough tactical speed to be in position to make this move at the quarter pole. And you can see once they get into the stretch, he is just a relentless finisher that gives you all the confidence in the world that a mile and a quarter is going to be right up his alley.
Yeah, exactly. And just to even, add another feather to his cap, he also showed that he can overcome a little bit of adversity in this race when he sort of got trapped behind horses around that final turn, sort of had to check a little bit, back out of there, come around wide to the stretch, still gunned down a really, really nice horse on the lead in there. I mean, man, there's a lot to like about this horse, and he's a deserving favorite on the way into Kentucky.
Yeah, I mean, the buyer speed figures, they just speak for themselves. I mean, that's obviously the reason why he's going to be such a clear-cut Kentucky Derby favorite. He's run faster than everybody else based on whatever speed figures you look at, but especially the buyers. I mean, the 108 just stands out among this crop. He earned that in the San Felipe two-back. And yeah, the runner-up from that race, Barnes, came back to disappoint in his subsequent start, but we saw the third-place finisher from the San Felipe, Rodriguez, come back to dominate the Wood Memorial in his next start, so that feels like it was a legitimate number. And Mike, I could even go back to his low self-futurity as a 2-year-old. You can look at that race in retrospect and say that 87 buyer should have been a lot higher than it was given at the time, just given some of the runbacks from that race. So journalism has been on this steady upward trajectory. And since they've stretched him out to 2 turns, he's won all of those races. He's been going away at the finish each time. And Mike, I think the biggest strength of his is it's not like he's some deep closer. He's shown time and time again, he can sit up close to pretty honest paces.
Yeah, exactly. Not only sit up close to honest paces and still finish. I mean, this horse, he's just really, really good, David. And, you were talking about how, Barnes, one good race, then one bad race. That most recent Santa Anita Derby we just watched, Citizen Bull was in there and he really didn't run that well in that race. But overall, California, there's a lot of short fields in these prep races, but it feels like there's also a lot of talent out there. And journalism is way better than those horses.
Yeah, and Mike, we're talking about this horse's strengths. Maybe the one possible weakness with journalism is just what you were mentioning, that all 3 of his stakes victories have been earned in 5-horse fields out in California. And he's going to be going from facing just 4 rivals in each of his last 3 starts to now lining again up against 19 other 3-year-olds in the Kentucky Derby field. So it could be a new experience in terms of navigating traffic for journalism. Is that maybe one concern with him that would make you look elsewhere for better value?
Yeah, listen, you have to. He's going to be a pretty clear cut favorite on Kentucky Derby Day. So he is the kind of horse that you're supposed to be, trying to poke some holes in, see if you can find a way to bet against him and find better value elsewhere. I don't think it's going to be that easy, but yeah, a bigger field could obviously be an issue. He's got to ship out of California for the first time. That could obviously be an issue. I guess if you wanted to, talk just the field size question. He did, beat it was a 10-horse field when he broke his maiden. He had no trouble with that. So he does have that going for him. But yeah, you're supposed to try to poke holes in this horse. It's not that easy to do.
Well, those are our thoughts on likely Kentucky Derby favorite journalism, but we want to hear from you. Are you for or against this prospective Kentucky Derby favorite journalism? Drop us a comment and let us know what you think if he can get the job done on the first Saturday in May.